At long last, Abstract Yurie arrives. So usually when we get a new chapter with a new character, we get the abstract banner for that character right away. And it took Yurie months to get here, but she's here. I guess it makes sense because we had anniversary celebration and limited banners and all of that. So finally we get her. And I think she's awesome. There might be mixed opinions about her, but I think she's really cool. Her kit is awesome. The base attack is pretty good. Let's take a look. We have a crit rate passive, 25%. That's as good as it gets. Now, this offers you a lot of flexibility in your subs, so you don't have to always cram in crit rate weapons in the subs to get her all the way up to 100. You can have a full cooldown set on her in Arena, which usually leaves you around 80-something crit rate at best. And this will help push you up to 100. And if she's at 100, maybe she might even do more damage than Celeb Yurie. I don't know, maybe not. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we have this new class of element boon passive with the 100%. I think that's pretty useful. Previously, these 20% or 40% ones, they weren't so desirable. But I feel like the 100 is pretty good. Again, let me know what you think about that if you've done the calculations and whatnot. Okay, this character skill is looking awesome. We have 4 hits at 85%. Kind of reminds me of Celeb Gale, also with a defense break. But hers is only 30. Not too bad because we also get a light imperil, 25%. So the enemy will receive more light damage. So obviously she's really built as a light support in subjugation versus the Dark Moose. That's going to be where she really shines. However, look at this. We have a base agility of 1100. Now I think it might be the first time we've had anything more than 1000 without there being a passive. So yeah, we've had 1200, 1300, but that's because there was a Fleetfoot passive that brought it up. So now we just have a base of 1100. Furthermore, the weapon really sealed the deal for me. Pretty good attack. The passives. So this is a very valuable class of weapons where you have an element boon and timed Fleetfoot 20%. And now with this gun, now we have 2 light weapons. Otherwise, there's only 1 for each element. Phoenix Lance, I believe it's called. It's the other one. So great, another option for that. But also we have a 14-second cooldown skill. So it could be a main hand in Arena, even though the second one's 18 seconds. It's a little longer than we want. This could be good, and we're kind of lacking lights in Arena. So yeah, that's why I YOLO'd for her. I need more lights on my account. I need help in light subjugation. I need better light weapons. I love Yurie. I loved this kit. And I only allowed myself 3 10 pulls to go for her. So that's my own strat because I do spend money from time to time. And for example, if in 2 weeks or a month they drop a must-have limited banner, then I don't mind spending a little money to get myself up to be able to pity by the time the banner's gone. So whenever I have extra tickets, I can throw them around like this as a YOLO. That's my strat. So be careful, newer players. This is a normal pool banner, and the strat is to usually save for limited banners. Okay, that's her and her weapon. We also have this really awesome fist that has the Lucid Haste. So this is, again, a new class of weapons that, only the EX weapons had this before. It is element specific, but pretty awesome, especially because it's paired up with a Lucid Boon. That's going to be a killer sub-weapon. These skills are okay. It's a short duration self-light buff and a party crit rate buff. Usually, you don't really factor this into your build. You usually just want to, get your crit rate from your own build, from the sub-weapons and memoirs and whatnot. It's got a barrier. That's always good. The 3-star weapon's actually pretty good, too. We have Lucid Boon and Bold Vigor, and those are 2 of the most desirable passives to have in your subs for subjugation. All right, that's what I think about that banner. Now, you might want to consider this banner. This is still here. These are 2 top-tier PvP units. We have Noel, who is just fast as hell. She's got this rare 40% Fleetfoot's. Only EX Gale has that. But Noel is stronger, and she's got a Pursuit passive, makes her even stronger, and she is just one of the most common characters you'll come up against in Arena. She's normal pool, yes, but again, you know, you don't always get the normal pool characters, even after months, or there's someone in my community who still hasn't gotten Abstract Gale, even though she's been out since launch. Now, Celeb Demos is a limited character. You can only get him when Celeb comes around, when there's a reprint or whatever. And he's got this gimmick of character skill usable at start, all enemy attack down 50%, and then a defense buff to the party. Furthermore, it has a resilience passive, so you pair him up with your provoke tank, and it makes your provoke tank even tankier because it raises their HP, right? And then if you check out my last video of my arena climb, I used Demos again, and not only does he have this utility, but even with a 4,000 attack range, I'm getting him to hit in the 200,000 sometimes. Granted, with an EX weapon, but man, he's a competent attacker as well. So this is really cool. If you manage to get 9,000 paid gems, you can do 3 steps and be guaranteed to get one of the 2 of them. So that's a killer deal. You know, it's going to be 80 bucks. Can't afford that. Totally understand. But this is maybe worth going for. Now, Akeha, I didn't review this last week, but I would just say skip this. The Abyssal, like, they're tempting with that high attack, but the longer cooldowns is really a drawback, where the party might be ready for a combo, and then you're just waiting for your Abyssal character to cool down, and then the boss's actions are coming, and you couldn't get in between, and it can be really annoying. And furthermore, she only has a 3-hit. So, you know, this is whale territory here. These weapons are pretty interesting, but again, this tower, watch my last stream, I was able to kind of smash this tower, I think, without even using a healer. I think I used a healer here and there. You know, this is a healing weapon, pretty cool. So, at the moment, we don't really, at least veteran players don't really need much sustain in tower anymore, but we may be on the verge of getting tower level 50, so what I'm saying might be thrown out the window in a month's time. Okay, now, we come down here. I'm still going to say that Joker Queen is the best banner to pull on right now. This is the most bang for your buck, and if you haven't gotten them, this is probably the best place to be spending your gems. Both of them are super strong. Even the top players are using Joker in PvP, subjugation, getting great results. Both of them are really strong with 0 awakenings. They're still over 7,000 with no awakenings. Their third passive that's locked behind awakenings isn't even that desirable. Joker has this Pursuit, and that's going to affect any skill with 3 hits or more, including his character skill, which has a defense break and 4 hits, and he can just do so much damage. And then Queen is kind of like A2, you know, she's already built for crit, and we talked about that a moment ago. So the main thing with these two, and Crow as well, but their slabs are so inexpensive to max out. Even if you think about in March, you know, not too long ago, you know, we really had to strategize where we spent our slabs, and having one maxed character was pretty cool. You know, I had one 100% character and then a handful that were close. So it wasn't that long ago that we really had to strategize. And now a new player can come in, get these 2 strong characters, and get them maxed out very easily. Now, Crow, I've talked about him. You know, it's kind of like a tough sell when there's only 1 character on a banner, even though that weapon is really sweet. And of course, I do have a whole video on this. Great, so that's how I feel about the banners. So in general, I would say the Persona 1 banner is still the best use of your gems. Skip Akeha. This is great. You might want to go for this if it makes sense on your account, especially if you're trying to beef up your PvP teams. And Abstract Ruler, I love her. I YOLO'd for her. So again, I didn't allow myself that much, just 310 pulls to try. and I was ready to accept, you know, getting her or not getting her. That's just how I roll. Really quick, we also got a new welfare 3-star. We can take a look at her because I did just run her through Max Awakenings. So we could see where she sits, and it's in the high 5,000s. And she's got a modest defense break, so if you're lacking defense break characters, you could throw her on a team for that. And her weapon will also have a Void boon. She's got toughness, and then the lesser desirable Void Rush, 20%. And of course, you'll be able to unlock this Vigor. All right. Cool, so that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think of Abstract Yurie, if you managed to get her, and where you're going to use her. Keep in mind that we most likely have some really cool stuff coming up in October that we don't know yet. We kind of have an idea. And make sure your gem stash is looking good for that. Of course, this banner is up until the 12th. If you want to YOLO for it or not, you might just want to wait till we know more. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Help me support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.